When it gets time to replace your 7-way plug, you got a couple different options, and I'm going to show you, even if you buy the wrong one, it'll work just fine. Most modern tow vehicles and trailers are going to come standard with a 7-way style plug. Even some of the small trailers with no brakes come standard with this plug, so you're not having to use an adapter. I always encourage use a 7-way plug so that you don't have to use an adapter, because they can be pesky, they can be, intermittent, and it can cause trouble. But that being said, there's going to be a time you're going to need to replace this. You're going to drag the cord, you're going to leave it unhooked, it's going to get corroded, just wear and tear and abuse. And when you go into the parts store, you're going to have some options. You're going to have molded plugs like this. That's really easy. It's already got the wires hanging out of it. Could be called a pigtail. You may buy one that has a replaceable end on it. We actually build these and have these ready to go just for our purposes in the shop. Or you can get just the end and cut the molded off if it's just the plug-in and replace it. The problem is, on the pre-made molded plugs, there's a couple different wiring schematics. One is for RV style, and one is for some call it SAE standard wiring, and then RV style wiring. We don't call it that here. We just ask if you're using it for a RV or if you're using it for like standard trailer. And the wiring is going to be different. I'm going to explain to you the difference in wiring color, but I'm going to show you that it really doesn't matter. We honestly stock whatever is available at the time, just to make it easy for our customers, and then we explain to them how they can install it no matter what the coloring is on it. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. When you do go into the parts store, the first thing I'm going to suggest you look at before you look at wiring color, make sure you get the right length, obviously, depending on where you're doing a bumper pull or gooseneck, or if it's on your fifth wheel. But try to get a name brand molded plug. Try to get one, look at the plug itself. The real cheap ones, the plugs will have some swirl marks in it, and just the molding on them is not very good. They will become loose, and I just don't like them, to be honest. So try to get a name brand. Some brands are not available right now due to some current events, so they're gonna be a little tougher to get. But look at that. To me, that's more important than the wiring color. Now let's talk about the wiring color. As you see here, we have a large black, a large white, blue, brown, red, green, and yellow. This is pre-wired for the RV industry. So your white is going to be ground, your larger black is going to be a 12-volt supply. Sometimes we call it a charge wire. Your red wire is going to be for your left turn. Your brown wire is going to be for your right turn. Your green wire is going to be for your running or marker lights. Blue for brakes, and yellow for reverse. Now, if you were to find this 7-way plug molded for standard utility wiring, sometimes referred to as SAE wiring, I don't refer to it as that because it can get confusing, because even on this plug here, it has the SAE mark on it. That doesn't mean it's for standard wiring for utility trailer. That's just the stamp. That is the specs on that wiring. You can find one that will say SAE with the certain spec, with the code that's going to show you wiring color. I'm not going to get into all that because at the end of the day, we can't overthink it. We're really going to show you how to put this on no matter what you get. But one of the telltale signs to know if you buy a pre-molded plug that is rated for just a regular utility trailer, not RV, it's going to have a purple wire somewhere in it. It still can have a red or black, and it could have a white or a black for the ground. So, but if it's got a purple in there, that pretty much tells you it is going to be for just a standard utility trailer, cargo trailer, horse trailer, whatever have you, other than an RV. But like I said, it can change in there, and why it really doesn't matter to me, we can get into the weeds with the wiring color on this, unless your trailer is brand new. And even that being said, this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to match up, whether that's an RV, whether it's a horse trailer or utility trailer. These wires may not match up to the wiring color that they have in the trailers. We have some trailers that the whole trailer is wired with black and red wires. Every wire in it's black and red. You have to diagnose, you have to energize those wires to see where they go. So it may or may not matter. So don't bank on just getting color for color. It's going to match up to your junction box, or if you're doing a hard wire, you need to know how to identify these wires easily with just a couple of tools that are inexpensive, and we'll leave a link to those tools in the description below. If you don't already have them, you may already have them laying around. So let's get into that. I'm going to show you how to identify them and show you it really doesn't matter. You can put an RV plug on a standard trailer wiring, and you can put a standard trailer wiring on an RV, and it will work just fine. Don't have to overthink it. Hook it up and just get to rolling. So before we identify the wires, we need to know where they go, because if we don't know where they go, it really doesn't matter on color. So I'm just going to open this 7-way plug here, And we're gonna look at the back side. And to make sure that you don't get it 180 clocked out, the large notch here is always gonna go in the 6 o'clock position, and the little hole for the set screw is gonna go in the 12 o'clock position. So as long as you keep it there, it's gonna be clocked correctly and you won't get it upside down. So we're gonna look at the back side. This is the way I like to do it. So whether you're looking at the back side here, once we identify this, we'll show you what the inside of the truck plug looks like. So looking at the back side, the 5 o'clock position down here is going to be for your brakes. The 7 o'clock position here is going to be for your ground wire. The 9 o'clock position here is going to be for left turn. The 11 o'clock position here is going to be for running or marker lights. The 1 o'clock position is going to be for your 12 volt hot, 12 volt supply. The 3 o'clock position is going to be for your right turn, and the center prong is for reverse lights. Most utility trailers do not have reverse lights. Occasionally they do, or they'll use that wire for, for something else. On a boat trailer, that's going to be your reverse solenoid, so it unlocks your brakes. So if you don't have a boat, or if you don't have reverse lights, nothing is going to go in here. Many times people will put something in there and it will actually cause you trouble when you put it in reverse. It does energize it, so whatever you have that hooked up to, whether it's just a raw wire in your harness, it could cause a short, or if you have it hooked up to something that's going to be energized, you're going to energize it when you hit the reverse. So that's what you need to know. It also has color coding on here. The color coding is for RV hookup. So whether or not you're hooking up RV wiring or standard trailer wiring, sometimes referred to as SAE, the positions are all the same, but what is going to change is the color. So you need to know where they go. So left turn, right turn, running lights, hot wire, brakes, ground, reverse. So no matter what your color, that's where they go. So now let's look inside our simulated truck plug here. So if we look inside here, again, right here on the 9 o'clock positions left turn, 11 o'clock is running or marker light, 1 o'clock is your 12 volt hot, 3 o'clock is your right turn, 5 o'clock is your brakes, your 7 o'clock is your ground, and the center is going to be reverse. Again, regardless of color, that is the positions. That never changes. We do get the question, well, my Ford is wired this way and my Dodge, no. The colors may be different on the backside of the plug, but the positions are the same. Speaking domestically, no matter what type of vehicle it is, that never changes. Colors do change, but the position never changes, always stays the same. Once you learn that, you can hook up any wire and make it work just by testing it. So now let's identify the wire so we know we hooked the right wire, no matter the color, in the right position. So this being your basic RV standard wiring, it would hook color for color on the back of this plug. If you were just replacing the end plug, you could hook it up color for color, it's gonna work great. But again, that's not always the case. So we're gonna identify these wires. Most of the time, your white wire is going to be your ground, unless somebody's done something crazy, but on the plug, it's gonna be a ground. Occasionally, it can be a black wire. So if there's no black wire in your harness, or no white wire in your harness, the black is going to be a ground and you have a red wire. So we're going to start with this. This is our ground, and you can do this with test light. So you could take your new plug that you have, plug it into your truck, and then turn your left turn on. So we got our left turn on, and on RV standard wiring, that's going to be a red. So that is our left turn. So we know that's correct. So now we're going to go to right turn. So RV standard wiring, that is going to be the brown wire. So there's our right turn. We're going to check the brakes. So we got our brakes energized. Whoop, there's our brakes. And now we're going to check our hot wire. If I turned it on correctly, it's going to be the black. So there's our hot. Do our marker lights or running lights or tail markers, depending on which year you were born. That is our running lights. And all we have left is the yellow wire, which is going to be reversed. I don't have reverse set up on here, but if you had reverse, that would be a reverse. Now here's the thing, if you're checking this on your truck, I don't recommend putting the truck in reverse to check this wire. Some trucks have to be running, they have to be in gear, in reverse, in order to energize this wire, especially on new trucks. That could be dangerous. It would be tough to do if you're doing it by yourself, but even if you had a buddy helping you, you could get hurt. So Here's where another tool comes into place. A simple multimeter that you can test resistance on. So we're gonna take that. This is one you pick up at a big box store. If I can find a link online, I'll leave it. So we're gonna put it right here and we're gonna check resistance. So the yellow wire is for reverse. This center pin is for reverse. So we're gonna stick one probe, and it doesn't matter which one you stick. Stick one probe in there and listen for the beep. So it's beeping and you can see it. We'll try to bring the camera in on the screen. So once I touch it, we know that that's where that wire goes. So if I were to touch the ground wire with it, it's not gonna do nothing. So that brings up another point. You can utilize this if you don't have a truck available to you, if you don't want to plug this in and risk blowing a fuse, because if you have a test light and you accidentally touch it to the ground, when it's energized, you could pop a fuse in your truck. So you can use a multimeter to check the position on this. If you know where these go, all you got to do is to say we're going to do our right turn, you stick that in and you can start going around the wires. So nothing, nothing, brown wire. So that would be our brown wire is a right turn, which would be in the RV standard wiring. If you were doing this for a utility trailer, that is going to be a different color that we're going to cover next. So now we're going to check continuity on just a basic utility trailer wiring on a 7-way. You have to remember to put the plug in the right position. So this large piece here where it would go in, that would be in the up position. That's where your set screw is. Set screw is always in the 12 o'clock position. Now there's some truck plugs where this will actually plug in upside down, so that could get confusing, but even if it's upside down, the wiring position never changes. Or if it goes sideways or if it plugs straight up, that's not going to matter. But we're going to show you how to check continuity on this. This plug has been wired. We wired this in the shop, so if you were to buy one pre-wired in the shop, I would recommend checking it because they may have missed one. I've been known to get my wires crossed every once in a while. If you ever got your wires crossed, raise your hand. So we're going to put it in the right turn position and we can go to checking. So nothing, 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 nothing. We have a beep. So that is our right turn, and that would be a standard color. Green would be standard color. Now let's put it in this one. Yellow would normally be the left turn on standard wiring. We have a beep, so that is the yellow. So this is going to be the 12-volt hot. So we do have a black wire in here. And that's what I said. So the black wire in here is not going to be a hot wire. It's going to be your ground because it does have a red. So if this were to have a white wire instead of the black is generally going to be a hot wire, but you still need to test it. So we'll go over here to running lights. Hopefully that's brown. Yep, that is brown. We've already done the left turn. We'll do the ground wire. So our black is ground. And blue is brake. So the multimeter is your safest way to check your wiring position without taking the risk of blowing any fuses. If you don't know how to check continuity on wiring, this is a great tool to have. You can find, you know, if you're inside your trailer, maybe you replace your plug, but then you get inside the trailer and they've got all the colors wired the same. Like the one I told you about earlier, we have a manufacturer that uses brown and red wire or black and red wire for the whole trailer. So if you get in there, you either got to probe it with a test light, or you can take a multimeter and you can see if the wire has continuity. So if it may be green on this end, but if it lights up purple on the other end, that is the same wire. This also can be used to test something that I see occasionally. I would say it is not normal. It's not rare, but it's not normal either. So occasionally we'll have a cheap molded plug that will come in to the shop on a trailer, and it may be new or it may be used, but you can just tell by the quality of the mold. It's cheap. It looks like it was made in somebody's backyard, and you'll hook it up, you'll wire everything correct, and then you will try to turn your left turn on and things will go crazy. You try to turn your right turn on, things will go crazy. And what we have found is internally in the mold, they have wires touching each other, creating a direct short. So you could check that with a multimeter. If you probe this here, and if you have multiple wires lighting off of one terminal, like if you have continuity between more than one wire, then something is wrong in here. That plug is trash. It either needs to be cut off, replaced with just a replacement end, or toss the molded plug I would probably recommend toss the molded plug and go get one that's a name brand, one that you've done research on, that is reliable. So a test light and multimeter is really all you need to know. So you can go buy a RV color-coded pigtail and you can wire it to your standard trailer, no problem. Colors are not going to match in your junction box, or if you're doing a hard connection on the existing harness of the trailer, are not going to match, and they don't need to. Just get whatever plug you need to get you going, to get your lights working, make your connections correctly, identify your wires, and you need to know how to do that in case you're on the road, you have trouble and you need to do your own wiring. Keep you an extra plug. I always recommend, if you do a lot of traveling, keep you an extra plug with you in case you do forget to plug it in or it gets loose, falls out. So if you need to wire one on the side of the road, keep you some, strippers, crimpers, just a few things just to make sure you have lights, because if it's nighttime and you don't have any lights on the trailer, that could be dangerous or it could get you a ticket. So hopefully this doesn't add to the confusion. This makes it simple as far as wire identification. Don't let it stress you out if they only have RV standard, they don't have your SAE standard wiring in there. You can make either or work. Know how to identify the wires, hook them up, buy good quality products, and you'll be good to go. Your lights are going to work, brakes are going to work. All you need to do is check your lug nuts, and you're ready to roll.